Hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, Don.
Hi, Don.
Let me get the
Hey,
page set up here for our viewing. And then go over here and do that. We have 50 or so pictures to look at, and I would like to know, let me go back. I would like to know from you all, 57 pictures, like to know from you all if there's anybody here who has to leave early and they just can't stay around. Well, these critiques have been running about 2 hours. So anybody?
We're the European crowd. We're 9 hours ahead of you, so we're starting at 9 p.m. So it goes till 11 p.m. for us.
Do you want to go first?
No, I'm okay.
Guys?
I'm just giving you a heads up that
Okay.
if it goes till going to midnight, then maybe just sneak us in before midnight.
Yeah, it's not going to go 3 hours.
Okay.
No, we can't do 3 hours. I don't think it will record 3 hours. At some point, Zoom gets really mad at us. So, all right. Then, if no one has any of that, we're going to start here. We're 1 minute early. Let me ask if anyone had any real challenges or anything that they discovered. Anybody?
yeah,
Yes,
focusing.
Who was first?
I don't know.
Go, Alex.
Ahead. Oh, I just said focusing was kind of a challenge. Because, sorry.
Alex, are you there? Oh, we may have lost Alex.
Sorry, I had to go into the bathroom because my husband suddenly turned the TV on and Netflix was yelling.
Oh, okay.
It's okay, I'm here. Just I hadn't really considered focus stacking before. And then suddenly I was getting way too shallow a depth of field with it. So,
Well, I'm going to share something about focus stacking with everybody. Right now, focus stacking is fairly new, correct? It's fairly new. We've been doing it for 10 years, but right now, out there in the marketplace, it's fairly new. Shallow depth of field is something we've seen since cameras were made. If you want to jump on a fresh look, start thinking about focus stacking. Start thinking about focus stacking only the subject and not the background. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do to really set your work apart. So nice, Alex. Did you enjoy focus stacking?
I'm not sure I did the best job at it, but I will certainly plan for it next time.
Yep.
I kind of did it on the fly this time.
Yep.
So
yeah, take some planning. Who else was saying something?
Hey, Don.
I was.
Ilona? And then
Yes, hi, Don.
Yes.
Yeah, I did slices and tried to lit it from below and shoot from top. And it was quite challenging for me to figure out the lighting, and it wasn't strong enough. And it's just, eventually I got what I was looking for, but it was really difficult for me. It was the first time I tried.
Well, good. I'm glad you tried it. I'm glad you finally got it.
I think you'll see. I hope I
Okay.
did. But
Yeah, good. That's what we do. We face challenges and then we just push forward. Someone else was going to say something.
Hey, Don.
Yes.
Hey, this is Chris. When you say focus stacking, you meant just taking several photos at different planes of focus and then merging them?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Photoshop has a focus stacking component to it, but most people use a third-party program to do it, to make it work. It's not just blend modes. There's definitely a software application for it.
Okay,
That's
thanks,
what it
Don.
is. Yeah, and there's very measured amounts of focus that you need to do. It's not whimsical. It's, specific, very specific. That's very cool. We're going to look at 2 examples here, really, really quick on the show. Anyone else? All right. We have Eileen Thomas. Eileen, are you here?
I'm here.
All right. This is cool. Would you shoot it on glass? Oh, you did. You shot it on glass.
Yeah, makeshift light box. Actual glass, not even plexi.
Nice. I like that a lot. Got to watch out for little double shadows here on the glass, but I'm not seeing any on your shot.
What do you mean by double shadow?
Or double reflection.
Oh, double reflection.
Yeah.
Sure.
They pop in from the back side of the glass.
Understand, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. I always like to do that. I always like to do these top-down shots on glass. I have a lot of those.
Well, your composition is wonderful.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Lovely
I can
shot.
always critique it.
Be very proud of this shot.
I am.
Good.
Thank you.
You bet. Nicely done. Is Sofang here? Well, this is an example here of Sofang using traditional focus and focus stacking. Same tomato, same lighting, etc., except that this one is very shallow depth of field, even though she shot it at a very, f20, got as much depth of field really as the lens is going to give her, but it still goes out. But when you focus stack, you end up with this look here. And I think right now it's very refreshing and it's very different and something you all should be considering. Very nice. Mike Carpenter shot a slice of a walnut.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
You made it look like a little piece of art there.
Well, you thank the squirrel who dropped it off on my doorstep.
Just a 8200 over top?
Yeah, handheld. Had a snoot and a grid on it. Used a modeling light to kind of get the shadow where I wanted it, and then popped it. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting approach, taking something very mundane, like a dropped off squirrel nut, and making it pretty cool. I like your light. I like the way you've taken the light and let the light just kind of go across the front. Look at all the texture we're seeing from the light, just kind of wiping across the front like that.
How did you slice it?
I didn't. A squirrel did.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Okay.
the squirrel split it. There's not a walnut tree within 2 miles of my house, so I figured he just got tired of carrying it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Watch out. He could be out there lurking around with his mastodon friend.
Yeah, I know this was about getting close up, and I that still feels far away to me for a composition, but
but I think all of your negative space is making a point to the delicacy of it. It, like I say, you shot it as though it was a rare jewel. Yeah. Very cool, Mike.
I think it looks like a little person alone on a scene.
A little what?
A little walnut or something, all alone on a scene. In
Yeah.
the spotlight.
Yeah.
He's gonna recite Hamlet or something.
The spotlight always gives us that theatrical feel.
Really cool.
Nice job, Michael.
Thank
Love
you.
that. Angie.
Hi, Don.
Hi. Oreos.
Yes.
I like your Oreos, and I like the fact that they're natural. When I shot my Oreo shot on 8x10 back in the day for my book, I got a lot. I had to take it out because the art directors were upset that there were pieces of cookie on the white. And of course, back in those days, so what? I can't fix them. It's on a big old 8x10 transparency. I like the stuff because when I eventually scanned it and took them out in Photoshop, they didn't look real. They didn't look like filling anymore. They just looked like, so that made me think I took it out for nothing because one art director said something to me and I listened to him. Never do that, folks. Never, ever, 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 ever listen to one single voice talking about your stuff. So lit from the side.
Yeah, it's actually two lights. There's one kind of bare bulb on the, let's see, I have a behind the scenes pictures in the comments. There's bare bulb and then there's the octa. So a little bit of fill light coming in from that side too.
It's doing fill, but it's also giving a very slight little highlight on every ridge there.
Yeah,
so
I wanted it to have a lot of texture.
Yeah, so the texture is remaining even in the fill. That's perfect. That's clean. Super.
Thank you.
Super. Are these pistachio or something? Or mint?
No, they're just normal.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of kind of a cooler color treatment on it.
Oh, okay. Cool. Love it.
Thank you.
Kind of looks like mint, but I love it. Yep. JT, are you out there?
Hi, Don. I'm here.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Very good.
Good.
So you've got two oranges below the plexi?
Yeah, I think only one is actually showing through here. That's why you just see the round of the one, but there were two when I was originally shooting it.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. So we actually see through the glass and get a little bit of a focus on that blood orange there then, right?
Yeah, so underneath that you're seeing the backdrop is the orange, and then it's obviously reflecting in the drops.
Mm-hmm. These are acting like little lenses.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really beautiful shot.
Thank you.
Now, is this pure water or is it glycerin water?
It's glycerin water.
Glycerin water.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Thank you.
What lens did you? Oh, 105 macro. All right. F9. And this, you are shooting, oh yeah, right here. You're shooting straight down on the glass.
I am. Yeah, I shot it with a red onion too, which kind of turned out pretty cool with the purple, but you need something that's big enough, at least with the drops that I had. And so I tried it with a bunch of different things, but when I shot overhead, I really needed an object that was big enough that it would show through into the background with enough color.
That's very cool. Good job.
Thank you.
I love it. You guys are so imaginative. So much imagination and creativity. Frank Grieger.
Hi, Don. How's it going?
Good. Frank, is this focus stacked?
No.
Just got a deep angle for focus on this. That's very nice. You get in there with we're only losing it right there and right there, but it looks great. I love the idea of using the yellow and black. That's very cool.
Yeah, I was playing with some graphic elements to see what I could do to spice it up a little bit.
Uh-huh. You got we got a behind the scenes, I think, here.
Yeah, it's quite an epic behind the scenes.
Okay, so you're lighting it with this umbrella way up there?
It's a 12-inch beauty dish without without the diffusion on it to get a hard light down on the tomato.
Okay.
And then I'm controlling the fill and the density of the shadow with another flash bouncing into that white.
Oh, okay. So we got a flash bouncing into here. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's what all this is going on over here. Yeah, I like that.
It's fun.
Made a hero out of a single cherry tomato.
Thank you.
Yeah, nicely done, sir. What lens?
120 macro on a micro four thirds sensor.
That's a pretty long lens.
It's a 60 millimeter, 120, 35 millimeter, but I'm pretty close to it.
Okay. Well, that's a long lens to get that much focus in there.
Well, when you're using it on a micro four thirds, you get that depth of field.
Well, you said it's a 60.
60.
Oh,
yeah.
got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you get the same depth of field as the lens. The 60 is whether you're on a large format, medium format, or small format. 60 is a 60. So you've got the point of view, or the area of view of a 120, but you're gotten the depth of field of a 60.
Right.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you, sir.
Nicely done. I was going to ask you why you had your light up there, and then you told me. So, question solved.
All right.
Yeah, Julie.
Hi.
Hi, Julie. Look at the
Hi.
highlights in this.
What's that?
But look at the highlights. Are these wet?
No, no.
They're just highly polished, huh?
I think it's partly the lighting, but they just seem to pick up the light. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty bright down here.
Yeah.
For just the light, that's really bright. And very sharp edged on those highlights. Nice composition, by the way. I like the composition.
Thank you.
Kind of keeps us moving there. Light looks great. Did you put it behind the scenes in?
I did. It should be.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Like I did the black, blocking light, and then put light from above, and then reflected with a plexiglass over the black.
Now, when you say light from above,
I mean, the natural light is coming in from above and the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dark field lighting, but you're shooting it from the side. But yeah, that works out very well. What is it sitting on there?
It's this is acrylic plexiglass on top of a black background.
Got it. Now putting up that dark.
Yeah.
Is it up there or is it over there?
It's to the left.
It's to the left. Okay. I love the way the light coming through the window gives those hard shadows. Yeah. And these things just pop from those hard shadows so well.
Right.
Then you got a fill over. Yeah, you got a big fill.
Yeah.
That big fill is keeping all this lit pretty nicely in here.
Mm-hmm.
Very clean.
Thank you.
Yeah, lens?
It's a macro, the 105.
Okay, Nikon 105 macro. This is Ilona.
Yes.
24 to 70.
Yeah.
All right. And what kind of tomatoes are these? These
I'm not even sure. I'm not a tomato fan, but yeah, I have a picture there just to see.
Yeah, they're called heirloom tomatoes.
That's right, heirloom, yes.
And they're not red.
No, they're kind of dark, almost purplish. Yeah, dark red to purple.
Yeah.
On the outside, at least.
Yep. And then the inside has this. How thin were your cuts here?
I say maybe 2 to 3 millimeters.
Okay.
Very thin, as thin as I could.
And what are you using for your behind the plexi light?
Actually, if you look, I have a behind the scene. I have it on glass sheet. I think it might be one more, actually, yeah. So it's glass, this scrim underneath, and underneath the scrim is a video light, and I had to use flash as well because the video light wasn't strong enough. And I had some window light. I put the blinds down, the white blinds, so it has some dim, it almost was like a softbox light from the window.
Okay.
So I had multiple things going on.
Okay. Now, if you use the strobe, you shouldn't have to use the video light. no reason to mix them. The strobe should be well within the power of doing that. But that's whatever works for you, works for me. I think this is very cool. Plus, we're looking at a type of tomato we just don't see that much. That doesn't look like any tomato that I would get at my local store, unless, of course, I got the heirloom. It's very cool. I love the little dot water drops on this one. I like this one best, by the way.
really?
I like
Okay.
this one best because it's clean, it's sharp, it's bright. I love these little drops of water. Just makes it just seem so fresh and stand out.
Okay, I did a kiwi in the comments. I have a kiwi as well. So I kind of was experimenting with the extension on the lens as well.
Well, good.
So I think the kiwi maybe came up a little better than the tomato. I don't know. I couldn't decide.
I think the tomato's cool because I've never seen the tomato before. The kiwi looks pretty good to me, but we see the kiwi a lot.
Right.
But this we don't see very often. And I like that. I think it's very cool.
Okay.
Good for you.
Thank you.
It's a solid win there on that shot. Alex Baker, blueberries.
Hi, just a sec. I'm going to go in the bathroom again. I'm fighting with Godzilla.
Godzilla never wins, unfortunately.
There you go.
Poor guy's been in like 40 movies. He never wins. All right. Are these, that looks like regular water to me, not glycerin.
Yeah, because I wanted to eat them for breakfast the next day.
Okay. Yeah, don't put the glycerin on if you're going to eat them. I mean, you can. The glycerin just
slimy.
Takes forever to get it off. And you can taste it.
I kind of wanted it to look a bit like almost like raindrops or like you just washed them or something anyway. So
yeah. And what's your lighting?
So do you see the picture? And it's a different subject. No, in the comments.
Right.
I used the same setup to try a bunch of different things. So it's basically the same setup, just blueberries, not herbs.
So we got a softbox behind a small scrim.
And
then
I think for this one, I maybe didn't use that extra scrim actually because I like the highlights on the water.
Okay.
So because the double the extra diffusion really damped it down.
Softbox right there. You can actually see the softbox in that little drop of water right there. Right there, a little bit. Yeah, definitely use the box, and you can even see the hot spot in the middle of the box.
Right.
Here, which tells me it's not a very good box. What kind of?
Yeah, it's probably not.
What kind of box is it?
Newer one, I think.
Do you have the inside baffle in it?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your light source? Speed light?
No, AD 200.
Okay. Yeah, it's still coming out of that box in front of it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a little hotter in the middle like that.
Okay.
I don't know if they make a Stofan for those, but if they do, you might want to grab one.
I used the bare bulb, not the speed light head.
Right. Oh, okay. So you have the round one in there. Do you have are you using the bare bulb or just the round one?
Yeah, the bare bulb.
Oh, okay. That's pretty poppy. That's very nice. I prefer that, by the way, than the regular flat. I just do. The flat light just,
Yeah.
Very good, Alex. Awesome.
And then, so this is 3 shots because I decided to focus stack it.
Oh.
Kind of when I was shooting it. And then I just did it by hand with masks in Photoshop. I didn't know there was a way to automate it. So.
Wow. Well, it's easier to do with 3 than it is with 40.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So I just focused on each of the 3 blueberries in the, first, second, third rows.
Well, it looks great. The focus stacking makes it look special.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might try that again. What was the name of the I think you'd mentioned it before once, so I can't remember what it was, the program to use.
Heliacon is one of them.
Yeah, it's a Helicon or Helicon.
Was it one that your friend who did a lot of the architectural stuff recommended, and it was like a really...
Yeah,
was
it's
that HDR? Am I confused?
Helicon Focus, right here.
Okay.
Helicon. Yep.
And is that software better than focus stacking in Photoshop?
I've heard that it is. I've heard that it is. It's not very expensive, I don't think.
Yeah, was this was the one he said was like $50 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yep, just stacks it up and does it. Yeah, he likes it a lot. This is the one. I think it's only for. Mac.
Okay.
Right. Nope. Windows 2.
Okay.
But everybody I know who does focus stacking in their work uses this. So.
Excellent. Okay, thanks. I will check that out.
You bet.
Cool. Thank you.
Kev Richardson.
Hello, then, Don. Yeah.
Hi, Kev. How are you?
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Really cool. You got a snoot going on over here and another snoot going on that way.
Yeah, that actually picks up just where that red mark is on the sacking.
Okay.
That picks up there. The other one in the window is the one that's picking up on top of the cork lid and just slightly on top of the pass there. And then the rest of the light's all from the window.
Okay, so you're getting some ambient in on the scene. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So you're blending in some ambient. Good. I was wondering where all this light was coming from down here, coming from the window.
Yeah.
As is the large soft specular here on the front of the jar, which really adds a lot to the image. To have that. We've got all this rough wood here, rough material here. We got the pasta here, and then we got that shiny edge with a beautiful reflection. And you notice how it's just a little blue in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you see the blue?
Yeah.
I've lost your audio, sir.
Right, well,
I
don't
didn't get
know.
that.
Right.
Could you try again?
Just a minute, I'll turn her on and off. How's that? Are we still going?
Yeah, I lost your audio for a minute.
Yeah, yeah. So I've done there is actually another one, the same one as this one, and I have touched it up a little bit because that little bit there, I mean, you can't see where I am, but across the top there, it's green. It's a really very good green. So I've just sort of painted that out a little bit and just
yeah. Well, it makes the glass look real. That's what I like. Yeah. 85.
There is actually another one of a moss one first. Set it all. That was it. That was what the one I was putting through. I went and had my tea, came back to pack up, and I just had another little plate, and that's when I came up with the other one. But there's a lot more. I've took that to Photoshop and Lightroom and done a little bit more work on that one than I have on this one. I haven't done a lot of work on this one. Just tidied up and dusted it down, if you like.
Well, it looks good. 85 at f16. So got a little bit of depth of field going through here. That's nice.
Yeah, so because and the other one as well is that's on the 50. That on a 50, and it's a different lighting setup altogether. So I didn't get a picture of that one either. So that's why I haven't bothered. That's the only lighting setup I've got.
Oh, okay. That's not the same lighting setup as you did for this?
No, the other one, because it was later on in the day, it was dark. So there was no light, no ambient light coming in. So I've got more I've turned it round as well. The cork's on the other side of the bottle. And I still have, I still have a snout coming down from the top, but I have more of a dish and a couple of scrims on it, the broad side of the jar, and then I've shot a snout straight up the middle of the pasta, so it just gives it a slightly different look altogether. But it is because you can see the full jar and everything on that one. That's on, say it's in the, just on the pictures. I put that one on because I know you put so many in, you can't look at them all. So I just put one in, and that's the one I've put in.
Yeah, I like the shot.
So yeah,
I like the shot. Nicely done.
I'm quite happy with that one.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Greg, are these asparagus or? Greg?
Yeah, hello. These are asparagus stalks. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. How did you have a behind? Oh, just a strip from the side.
Yep. So this is focus stacked. This is 32 different frames. And part of the reason why I needed so many, and it's still obviously not in focus there on the left side, but I was using a bellows in combination with my 60 millimeter macro lens.
Right.
Really trying to get close on the ends of those things. So
you got the bellows to work then?
Well, I did get it to work for this. And like I told you before, the only lens I can get it to work for is when I use this 60 millimeter lens.
I don't know why that is. It should work on a 90, it should work on an 85, and it should work on a 35. Pretty easy.
Maybe it's just still user error. I got to work on that 85 because I've got that.
No, that's very nice. And again, showing us something that we haven't seen before in fresh light. Very nice, man.
Thank you very much.
It also shows that, one light can do a lot. You can do a lot of damage with one light. Very nice. This little highlight that we see there, that's just the light lighting up the white table on this side and then reflecting into the asparagus.
Yep.
Very good, man. Sarah Deckery, Flannery. How are you?
Hey, not bad. How are you?
Very good.
That's good.
I love the brightest light up here and the darkest shadow right next to each other. Just creates that pop, that point for us to look at. Looks great.
Thank you. I was having trouble. It was looking a little dark on Facebook, so I took it back down and pumped up the exposure just a little and resubmitted.
Okay. Well, we've got a little bit of a highlight here from Phil. And that, I don't think you ever lose texture in there. So that looks really good. And then you're using the soft focus effect to create the hero in the picture.
Yep.
I like it.
Thank you.
Is your setup in there? Yeah, I just
Yep.
went by it. There we go. All right. So you're really doing it from the 2x3 up here.
Yeah, and this little translucent sheet of paper down here,
Uh-huh.
I didn't, using a white card just bounced a little bit too much light on it, no matter how far back I was holding it. So I
Right.
used that little translucent sheet, and it just gave just enough bounce into the back side of that front mushroom to
Yeah, I love it.
give it a little.
What you're saying is, a white card isn't always the best solution. Sometimes it's just too much of a solution. And we look at the shot, we just got that little bit there.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit darker and moodier, so I didn't want a lot of light bouncing back in there.
I love the subtlety here. Really love the
Thank you.
subtlety. Nicely
Thanks.
done, Sarah. What is
Thank
the
you.
lens?
I think on that one, that might have been 100 millimeter macro.
At 6.3?
Yeah. And then I played around a little with some extension tubes and got really close on one mushroom, but I like this one the best.
I liked it. I liked it very much.
Thanks.
We always tend to want to come in really close on things like that. And sometimes we get so close, we don't even know what we're looking at, you know?
Yep.
Peppercorns.
No, I think it's aniseed.
That's my second guess. These are tiny, right?
Yeah, the center is the size of a peppercorn. So they are quite small. They may be the size of a coin.
And you just lit them from the side, behind the scenes? No.
Yeah, the behind the scenes is there in the, it's not there. I thought I put this behind the scenes. Okay, it's just, it's a strip light behind a scrim coming from the right, and then nothing on the left.
Okay, so nothing at all. Just let it go black.
Yeah. And then there's a tiny little, I don't know if it did anything. I didn't want my background. It was on a dark background, but the background was still getting lit. It was just a piece of cardboard. So I put a tiny little black card, like maybe just a centimeter tall, on the right-hand side, just to try and stop some of the light from lighting the background. And it did work a bit, but then I also darkened that a bit in Photoshop, and I see here on Facebook, it's like a bit of a mess, the background. It doesn't look like that on the shot.
That looks pretty good, though. Shot looks great. I love it because we're looking at this, and we're so close that we can see this. It looks like wood. It looks like the texture you would see in some sort of mahogany or something.
Yeah, it does look like wood.
Yeah, so you're showing us something, and we just don't see this. And we get these little things, we never look at them that close. I love it.
That was the closest I could get with my macro lens. I put the focus on manual all the way to the end, and then I moved my lens until it was in focus. So I couldn't go any closer than this.
Nice. Love it. Just love it, Carla. Beautifully done.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes. Sophie is
Hello.
channeling your inner Barbara Sherman and Virginia Long, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to get you in. That's dangerous. Put the two of those together. Oh, man. So what do we shoot? We're shooting on through a grate with a...
It's one of those cooking trays to cool down the cookies. You know, these things? Yeah, and then there's the light. In the comments, I put the... Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you got a blue gel coming out of here.
Yeah, and then on top, just the strip light, another strip light right on top at the minimum power, just to give a little bit of a kick.
Okay.
From on
And
top.
we're not seeing that strip light here, right? Oh, it's this one here.
It's that, yeah, it's just that.
Okay. Cool. Let's look at the picture.
And focus stacking as well, for me, my very first time of experimenting with it.
I love how bright that blue is.
Mm.
Really
I was afraid
bright.
maybe it was a bit too much, but no.
No, because it's really bright on the eggs, but it's not that bright on the grill. You know, the grill's just sort of sapping a little of the color. Then the egg just becomes so bright. It's really very, very nice.
Mm.
I like this shot.
Thank you.
How did you like focus stacking?
Yeah, no, I tried it again today. It's going to take a while because apart from focus stacking, it was my first ever use of Photoshop.
Uh-huh.
So I followed a tutorial and I managed, because they tell you step by step. And then at the end, the guy says, well, just save it. Save the file as you normally do. And I just went, well, you know, I don't know how you save a file in Photoshop. So.
Just hit save. So wait a minute. This is the very first time you've ever used Photoshop.
Yeah.
You decided for that very first outing to do focus stacking with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to go out and learn to ride horses, so I entered myself in the Kentucky Derby. I just thought, hey, how hard could it be?
Actually, it was easy to follow, but yes, the plan is to go through the very Photoshop for Dummies tutorials as
Okay.
well. Start at the bottom for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm putting together a 10 little Photoshop things that I've found online for over at Lighting Essentials. It should go up tomorrow because I'm just waiting for one. I got to find one more, but it's 10 little things. And if you learn 2 each day, by Saturday, you'll know a ton about Photoshop and working with commercial files.
Wonderful.
I found a Piximperfect has a 1-minute tutorial on how to change the color of anything. In 1 minute, he shows you. And I thought, yeah, we need more of those. Very nice, Sophie.
Thank you.
Those are eggs, right?
They're chocolate eggs. Yeah.
Chocolate eggs. Okay. Leonardo.
Hey, Don.
Hi, Leonardo. Focus stacked or no?
No. It's a macro, 100 macro Canon F11.
Coming right down at the angle of these things here.
Yeah, and they're sitting on top of a Himalayan salt block, and
Okay.
it's lidded from the bottom as well.
Okay.
I did a little bit of Photoshop. I used two different, yeah, that's the behind.
So we got the camera,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of an angle to match the angle of the way these things are going up. Strip light back there, nice little flag to keep the back of it a little bit darker. We've got a fill card on this side, and then you've got a light below the salt.
Correct, with a little more, with a couple of diffusers.
Yeah. Very
And
nice, really nice. Beautiful shot.
I also used 2 different, Lightroom comes with some built-in LUTs. So I used the lookup tables in Lightroom, and there were one version I liked for the tomatoes, and the other I liked it for the background. So I picked both images and then I merged it in Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
So the tomato looked better in one version and the background looked better on another. So
well, it's a nice merge and colors. I love your colors. I love this very mauve kind of soft background, and then the tomatoes with a bright red, almost fire engine red color to them. And that's from your LUTs that you used.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I also use glycerin water.
Uh-huh.
And it's sprayed, of course, on top of the salt block as well. But
how many here on this show right now, you can just hit your unmute and say me. How many on here do not know what a lookup table is or have never played with lookup tables? Who?
Me.
All right. I will do a video on lookup tables and get it up on the class page for tomorrow and link to it. It's a little, it's been in Photoshop for 5 iterations of Photoshop. Almost no one knows it's there. And when I show you what it can do, oh my, are you going to be happy? If you've ever heard the term color grading, and we all talk about color grading our images, LUTs are lookup tables. They are color grading tools for cinema. And of course, anything you can do to a cinema frame, you can do to a still frame. So I will give you a little quick tutorial and a couple of links where you can go pick up some very nice LUTs. Very nice.
Also, a disclaimer, those are addictive. The lookup tables are addictive. You have to be careful. They are so powerful.
Do you know how to make your own?
No, I don't.
All they are all your, things that you can apply to layers. You apply them to the layers. You take an image, apply them all to the layers above, kill the image below, and you can save it as a lookup table. You can make your own. Then the addiction becomes really sick. Very nice, Leonardo.
Thanks.
Real simple shot from Chris Gray. Simple, but look how fresh it looks. Good job. Oh, look at that. Chris, are you out there?
I'm here, Don.
Oh, I love this little, just really nice there.
Oh, thank you.
This is what we call production value. This is what people leave off right there. I love the little, it looks like you sprayed water on the front. A little bit of.
I actually used vegetable oil.
Okay. Yep. But it really gives us all those nice, beautiful highlights, even down in the rind of it, and makes it look very, very fresh. You guys all know when you cut an orange, it doesn't look fresh for very long. It dries up really quick, and then it starts looking icky. You got to keep it shiny. How did you light it, Chris?
Yeah, this pretty interesting here. I was going for dark field lighting to begin with. I had the flag off to the right because I was getting a really intense specular highlight at the top of the rind on the right side. Used the field card to the left to take up some of that dark field lighting, and then used a speed light with a snoot, a gridded snoot, to bounce off the white card to the left and start filling in some of that at the bottom and underneath the orange to the right, or I'm sorry, to the camera left underneath.
Okay. So is this still firing back here?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The so what I had the dark field. I'm sorry, I had the light box, and then ended up putting some window shear material over it.
Okay. Okay. But you're really lighting this orange is really being lit by light bouncing off the white card.
Yeah. What I did, well, it's being lit. It's being lit two ways. That little crescent of light, of highlight on the right of the orange. That was from, yeah, that right there. That was from the dark field lighting. I flagged it to that right side to tone it down a little bit.
Okay. That's very clean, man. Nice shot. What'd you do? What did you shoot with?
Shot it with a 70D. I had a Sigma 90 millimeter macro, and if you like this shot, it must have been my blind squirrel shot for the whole course, and I might have been that squirrel that dropped off that nut on Stevens.
Well, it's very
porch.
clean, and I got to tell you, everybody, you will find that there are a great deal of photographers who do not use soft boxes or scrims, but actually use white cards as their lighting. You can shoot tons of product. My friend Ken Howie up in South Dakota, yeah, he used to shoot custom motorcycles. He shot all the Fender guitars for almost 15 years or maybe longer. And he only owned one giant scrim that he would use occasionally for very large product. But everything he did, all the guitars for Fender, all the lawn equipment he did for Ryobi, all the custom motorcycles, was all white cards with light bounced off of them. That's how he lit it. You talk about an efficient and inexpensive and incredibly subtly controlled light sources. Big panels of white foam core with light bounced against them. And I know that if I was working in a camera store trying to sell you, big lights and soft boxes and stuff, I might not mention that, but I'm telling you all, it's a great way to go. Greg.
Hey, Don.
How are you, sir?
Good, good.
That's really pretty. Love the light.
Thank you.
What is the, are you side by side? Yeah, all right. Oh, okay. Just like my friend Greg here, lighting off white cards. I was not planned, ladies and gentlemen. There was no coercion here, nor was it planned. But yes, white cards, all you need. And what are these lights? These video lights, right? LED panels?
Yeah, video lights, light panels, yeah.
Yeah. Man, I would, before I shared space, or actually our studios were in the same building, before I knew Ken that well, I would just marvel over his lighting on motorcycles, because he'd shoot these incredibly $100,000 motorcycles that are built by two custom motorcycle companies here in Phoenix. And the light would just be this unbelievably beautiful, like I call it liquid light on these motorcycles. And I thought, wow, how many soft boxes does he have? And I was wondering how he fuses them together to keep that thing from showing it. Nope, white cards, just white cards, pieces of foam core. I was very impressed. This is a very nice way to light. Very nice way to light.
Thank you.
Man, that's really pretty. Did you eat it?
No, I tasted it. It's the first time I've ever had dragon fruit, and it's really mild. You know, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe a little tart banana. I just.
Oh, these are really good with Tabasco.
Really? Okay.
No, I have no idea. Yeah, really cool,
Well,
man.
you've never led me astray before. So
No, get yourself a big old vat of Tabasco, dip the old dragon fruit down there, take a bite. Let me know.
All right.
Beautiful color, just great. Love it.
Thanks. Well, I couldn't leave that alone, so I submitted a second shot after I sliced it. That's the next one.
I've never seen it sliced. That's very cool. That's very cool. I want you to do that again, but focus stack it.
Okay.
Don't lose any sharpness. It'll just
All
change
right.
the whole way it looks. All right?
Yep.
Very good. Some people love this stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, there's more of them in the store than I thought were out there. I had no idea. So.
Yeah. Really nice, man. Good job.
All right. Thank you.
Good job. Tammy Bogestron. If you haven't seen Tammy's little video, that's her shooting this, isn't it? Tammy?
Yeah, it is.
And this does not look like an outdoor shot at all, does it? Looks like a studio shot, and yet it's not.
It's on my porch.
And what are we using for light? Just the ambient coming in?
It's just the ambient, and then I kind of molded it with some tin foil and white cards and black cards and things. So
all you got to do.
That's all I got to do. But the hardest part was making those stupid peppercorns stand still. I moved them all around because, you know, then I wanted one corn over here to break the horizon a bit, and another one that was a little bit broken. I wanted that to be there and this there, and oh my God.
I was going to ask you, what in hell possessed you to stack peppercorns
on sticky tack?
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, how did that work out?
You know, I had a blob of sticky tack with peppercorns all over that I threw away afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. Because
it's in the video. It's in her video.
Yeah, it is.
I'll have to, I did not watch the entire video. I was
well, you'll see where I put the sticky tack on it. I just wiped the stuff away because it was just too flat and too boring. At first I shot from above, and I shot a little bit lower, and I shot a bit lower, and this is straight on.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I love this because this is outdoor lighting, and yet look how beautiful it is. It's just ambient light coming from everywhere.
The peppers in the background.
White cards and some silver cards and stuff.
Yeah. The peppers, the highlights on the peppers, those are from that, like just a bit of aluminum foil on a thing on the left side. So they're reflecting there. And then I've got a mirror over top just to give a little bit of pop to some of the peppercorns.
Really, really nice. Lovely shot. What did you use for a lens? Oh, Takina, 100mm macro.
Yeah.
Great
It's like
shot.
f22 or something. And you can see, if you look at there's a little bitty picture on you can see my behind the scenes there. It's so simple. I mean, oh, that's not it.
Nope, that's not. I think I just put away. Nope, here we go. It just takes forever for
Yeah.
Facebook to open these behind the scenes shots.
It's just a picture too. I don't get.
Yeah,
So,
it's just,
so you can see it's. Oh, where'd it go? Oh. There it
that's
is. You can see
shot.
there's aluminum foil on the left, the black card on the right, and then sticky tack. That's everything's, and all my stuff I use to push and pull and wipe away, and so
Wow.
that's the setup.
And that's the shot. Isn't that pretty?
And I did darken down the pepper mill because it was just too bright. It was too light of a color, so I did darken that. So all I did is dodging and burning, and
Reminded
capture
of a
one.
guy in New York. I don't think he's shooting anymore. I think he retired. But all through the up to 2017, he shot natural light food on 8x10, and he shot he had a tiny studio where he kept all his gear, and then he had one of those little patios that went out between the big buildings in New York. I think it was actually in Brooklyn, so it was like a patio, and that's where he shot, and he shot every day.
I think food needs natural light somehow. I don't know.
He just had that. He was just that. He had those clients, and that's what they wanted from him, and he could shoot every day. Yeah, it was really, really, really beautiful. You find in San Francisco and New York and Chicago, you'll find natural light food shooters. They're harder to find in Phoenix because our natural light also cooks the damn food. Same with Dallas, places like that where we have tons of hot sun summers tend not to have those natural light studios. But in New York, there are photographers in New York who just have 3 big windows down the side of a small office, and that's their lighting.
Yeah. I mean, I love playing with flash, but it's just so much more fun molding natural light.
Yeah,
somehow. I don't know.
beautiful. Beautifully done, Tammy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. Kim Sudbeck.
I'm here.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Don?
Very good. Look at this tied up asparagus here. Shot with a bit of just a slight telephoto.
Yeah, I don't have a macro lens, so.
Yeah, you don't need a macro lens. You don't need one. And if you do decide you want to play with macro, Kim, get some tubes. They're so inexpensive. You get a set of tubes for your camera for about $40.
I shoot Pentax.
Should be able to get them.
Okay, I'll look.
They're just little tubes that you stick between the camera and the lens. It's like a little 1/4 of an inch, like a 1/2 inch and an inch, and it moves your lens farther away from the camera, so it allows it to focus way, way closer. So, and they're very inexpensive, very.
Okay.
And at least you have something you could get in like on that right there.
Right.
So, all right, looking at your light here, we got a light going through a scrim.
Yeah, I don't have the equipment like everybody else. So I use those, what I call those garage lights.
Those are great.
Yeah, and so the top one is aimed to the wall, and then the one on the floor is aimed. Well, it's aimed to the floor because it was too much light on it, and so. But I was trying to get enough light to light them up.
Well, the shop light approach, this thing right here.
Yep.
The shop light doesn't matter if it's going through the scrim. Once you put the scrim up, the scrim is your light source.
Okay.
And whether you have a flat, a $10,000 Broncolor or a $49 garage light. It doesn't matter because the scrim is now lighting up your subject. So yeah, rock on with those things. They're great. That was my very first teaching thing ever. I did a DVD on how to use $100 worth of lighting you could get at Home Depot, 2 shop lights and some foam core, and do portraits. And I was selling like 2 or 3 a week, and then David Hobby up at Strobus did a review and said, "Hey, this is a pretty cool thing," and I sold like 175 in one afternoon.
Oh wow!
I'm not sure which was worse, Kim, selling 2 or 3 at a time or getting 175 orders that I had to sit and burn CDs for. Or
Oh
DVDs
right! Oh
for
that.
like,
Oh yes,
oh
I bet.
God,
Yeah.
made a lot of money, but oh man, that was a week. This is
But
really
if you look in
pretty.
the bottom one, I did your hack, and I made me some scrims.
I see them
So
back
I've
there.
been playing around with that too. Yeah.
Always, I would say this rule of thumb: always use your scrims with your Home Depot lights.
Okay.
Always. Just don't use the Home Depot light by itself. Just use the scrim. Okay. Then, I mean, put the depot light behind the scrim.
Right.
And those are LEDs, right? They're not the real hot ones.
I
Do they get real? Do your lights get really hot? I mean, like cook an egg hot?
no.
Okay.
No, they're not too hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old ones were tungsten illuminated, and they got really hot. They'd have little burn cages on there, so you couldn't burn your hand. It didn't matter. You could burn your hand on the little burn cage. So, very nice. Nice shot. Nice approach to it. Keep
Thanks.
pushing those scrims. I think you'll love it. Mr. Ellis, James Ellis, look at that, coming in nice and tight on a bell pepper here. Nice cut too, because you didn't slice all these things to death.
That was dumb luck, smart luck.
Okay.
So shot it in the backyard, late afternoon Arizona sun. Had my 4 foot by 4 foot scrim to the west, and had some little bounce cards in the inside of the coffee bag kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So sprayed it with water.
What did you do in post?
In post, I don't know. I shot raw, and I think I cleaned it up a little bit. I don't know a short, succinct answer.
Okay. My experience with shooting with the scrims outside is like, I love the light. It's absolutely stunning light. But it always a little bit flat contrast wise. So are you a Photoshop or Lightroom guy?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
In Lightroom, you can use your contrast slider just,
right.
Maybe 5 or 6 points. In Photoshop, I use the histogram, the channels, and I'll tighten it up that way. But this looks just, see, this lettuce could pop a little more, Jim. Just a little more pop. The shot is lovely. I love the color. The red bell pepper looks great. See if you can just, do you have Nick?
Yes, I do. Nick Tools. I have not played with any focus stacking, and I have to say that I am a little frustrated with this shot, thinking that I wanted the seeds to be just like razor sharp, and then I want the top edge to be razor sharp, and as well, just as you're indicating, the lettuce. I wanted the lettuce to just crisp up.
You might try the Photoshop focus stacking method. For something like this, you'd probably only need 2 or 3 shots. The top shot, one about focused right about there, and then one on the lettuce, and then you could pull them together fairly easy. If you go into Nick, go to your color, I don't know how many of you guys, Color Effects Pro, and go to Pro Contrast. Color Effects Pro Contrast.
Okay.
There's almost nothing else in Nick that you'll ever use except for fun, but that one is really nice. Nicely
Yeah.
done, James. Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was a flying circus. The reflector on the right side of the photograph is the back side of the tool that I set my white balance with.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hand holding that, and you know, it, it, it was a cat juggle, let's say, for polite conversation.
Okay. And the strobe is not going off, right?
It was,
It is going off.
yeah, it's speed light.
Okay, so you got a speed light and the natural light of the scrim.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you put this into Nick, and you'll pull up some of these highlights just really nice. Really nice. It'll pop it really well. All right?
Cool. Yep. Thank you.
You bet. Nicely done. Carmen.
Yeah.
Hi, Carmen.
Hello.
I like the one with the focus stacking.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which one. I just like seeing the edge.
This is very
in
cool, though. It
focus.
really is. This is very cool. I was working with a photographer once, and we were working on his portfolio, and we were getting kind of silly at the end of the day. And he put one corn chip out on the white seamless and lit it with a softbox and a snoot. And it turned out to be like, well, the best shot he ever put in his book. This is very, very cool. I love it.
Thank you. A lot of, you have to go dig through the bag to find the perfect chip.
That's the excuse I use too, Carmen. And all the ones that are
Two
not
bags.
two bags, yes. And the ones that are not perfect go right in the onion dip and right down the throat. That's how they go. Until I find that perfect chip. That's really, really fun. I love the color. I love everything about it. It's just fun.
Yeah. And that one was with natural light. I had sun was bouncing on a building across the street.
Uh-huh.
And it just looked great. I said, I don't have to do anything. I put a reflector and
I love your shell's got a little bit of yellow in it too. Nice. Nicely done. Really nicely done.
thank you.
Donna.
Hello.
Hi, Donna. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Good. We got some preserves here.
Yes.
We've got
Homemade
light.
jam.
We've got light coming from interesting places here. We got light coming this way.
Yes.
And we got light going that way. What's lighting these guys up?
Just above.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's an open. I think the next shot is my behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. Modified dark field lighting. You got a lot of light pouring over from the top there.
Yeah, and I have the back. They're split, so there's light coming in between the two pieces of the black cards.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Thank you.
If I was your art director on the shoot with you, I would have had you bring your camera up a little bit more.
Okay.
So we could look down slightly more on the spoon. See how narrow the spoon is?
Right.
We're narrowing everything up, including the biscuits. I would have said, okay, we've got our camera like this. Let's bring it up and down just about that far.
Okay.
We look down on these things because you got all this beautiful color, but it's being kind of sliced because we're coming at it such a shallow angle. Really pretty.
Okay.
Really pretty. Great idea for your lighting, by the way.
Thanks.
Really great.
And in front of the books, there's a foil card just to light up the front of the biscuits and the jam and that.
Doing nicely too. You might next time, if you try this lighting setup again, which you probably should, you might get 3 or 4 of these. You might find that one over here high up, like right here,
Okay.
could help put some light down on the side of the the muffins and give them a little poppy edge.
Okay.
And then anything up here, remember, is fair game because it's
Okay.
out of your picture. Your picture's only up to there. So a silver card up here bouncing down into the top of the jam and the top of these things could be very nice. Maybe it's a big silver card, maybe it's a small silver card, but you can get even more interest in the lighting if you get it, popping from different places. Maybe just putting a little edge down the napkins there.
I'll try that. Thanks.
Yeah. What do you remember? What lens you used?
I only have the one lens, and it's a 50 manual.
That's it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So you're shooting manual focus?
Yes.
Good for you, Donna.
Thanks.
Is this film?
No, it's digital. It's
Okay.
a Nikon crop sensor D5100.
Okay. Oh, that's a 24 megapixel file, right?
It's 16 megapixels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Good. Nothing wrong with manual focus lenses. And Donna, you can find a whole bunch of them on eBay, really inexpensive.
Yeah, I got that one fairly cheap.
I just saw a Nikkor 28 millimeter manual focus on eBay in perfect condition. I think they wanted $40 for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find some.
I always keep my eye open.
Yep. All right. This is beautiful. Bonnie, are you out there?
I'm here, Don. How are you?
Good, Bonnie. How are you doing?
I'm
Really-
good, thanks.
Really like your lighting. I get
Oh,
really
thank you.
excited
I
about
worked really, really hard for that.
I love that. You just angled it so we caught a little bit of light and it just pulls it from the one behind. It's attention to detail. I love that right in here and in here. Flowers look great. You've got is this wet? Is that what you did?
No, it's just an old table that I got at a yard sale. It's just got a shiny varnish finish on it.
Okay. Okay. Really pretty in here. So we've got one light from the back and we've got one light from camera right. That's too bright to be a fill
Yep,
card.
I got
so that's
well, there's a fill card on the left, but it didn't do much. So
no, it just opens up
I had
shadow.
to add some light. Yeah.
Look at there we go. So we got the Godox over here and we got the scrim over here with the light behind it. Nice.
Well, there's that white on the side is the fill card that wasn't doing much for me, and there was a split between it and the back, and that's where I was shining. It doesn't really show in that picture,
Got it.
but I moved it a little bit so there was a split, and I was shining a low power speed light through that.
Okay. So you're hitting the back with a nice hard light to really pop that.
Yeah,
A
for the
little
rim light.
fuzz there on the kiwis. And I really kind of like how you brought it all the way down here and into the flowers here. Look how beautiful those flowers look with a little bit of backlight on them. It just freshens up the picture really well. What lens?
That was my 2470 Canon.
At where though?
Good question. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think
It
you're
was
out.
actually, it was pretty close to 24,
Okay.
I think. I took so many pictures of that, Don, that I started out taking notes.
I don't think
I
that's
lost track.
24. I don't think that's 20. It's closer to 50. The 24 would give us more distortion.
Oh,
Would really pull that
okay.
forward.
Like I said, I kind of lost track. I
Yep.
tried so many different things.
Very nice. Did you enjoy shooting it?
I did.
Good.
I did. I learned something. I struggled with it a little bit, but I was happy with the outcome.
Good. Did a nice job. Nice job.
Thank you.
Mia Lisa. Mia Lisa. Dark and moody. Got a little bit of a highlight going on over here from some sort of fill, which is nice, but it's dark and moody, and it looks like we've got a specular here. I'm looking at the specular and I'm thinking it's either a white card or it's a scrim or it's some sort of box behind a scrim. It's not real sharp on this, on the transition edges here. It looks pretty nice. I do like how this apple is the hero because it's the only one that's sharp, and that works out pretty well. Works out pretty well. Very pretty, Mia Lisa. Is that, yeah, Mia Lisa. Beautiful. And let's look at, yep, there we go. Exactly. Mark Shaw.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Good.
What's going on here, sir?
Well, the subject was we playing with our food.
Uh-huh.
My wife and I took you literally on that.
All right. Yeah, on the checkerboard there. Chessboard. Cool. And what's your light source here?
I've got a softbox, and then I got a piece of translum, and then I'm just using a couple of reflectors cards.
All right. Oops, went the wrong way, sorry. Very cool. I think you're a stop under. I think these oranges can be brighter. What do you think?
Could be.
Yeah. Is this a black and white chessboard?
No.
Okay, brown and tan.
That's the natural color.
Okay, natural color. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at this one. I bet you if you pulled up the exposure in Lightroom, half stop, maybe, you'll pop more color.
Okay.
Yep. Fun idea though, on the chessboard. I did not get it when I first looked at it until I did that. And I went, oh, okay. I go back to it. Now I can't not see it, of course. The checkerboard. Very cool.
Well, when we talked about this last week, I told you my wife got a gleam in her eye.
Well, it's a great idea. Honest to God, it's a great idea. Beautifully done. I like how you made chess pieces out of the orange and strawberries.
Well, thanks, Don. I'll give her the credit for that.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, pull your exposure up a little bit and pop it back on Facebook so we can see it. Try a half stop, try a full stop, and see what you think.
Will do.
What's that, Mark?
Will do. Thanks, Don.
You bet. Ling. Ling, are you here?
Yeah.
Hi, what is this?
Dried apricot.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's something I've seen before, but I've never been that close to a dried apricot. That's pretty cool. Wow. Nice bright backlight. Got some speculars here and here and here and here that give us texture. So we know these things have a bumpy but shiny surface to them. And here too. Really cool. What is your light source?
It's actually the big sliding glass window, and I don't have a behind the scenes photo. I got so frustrated that I just forgot to do one. But
now, why did you?
I did a fill card.
How far away were you from the window?
I was about 1.5 feet away from the window.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was frustrating you on the shoot?
Oh, because I always want to try to be creative with the shot, and I started off with something totally different, and I was like, after, a while photographing something, and I just was like, I just gotta figure something out. I had a totally different lighting setup, totally different idea for a shot when I first started. So I guess I get frustrated because like I have the creative idea in mind, but then, you know, it just doesn't turn out as what I originally intended. But I did like this shot at the end after.
So what you're saying is you come up with a really creative idea, you go to execute it, and you find you have to change that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We call that Tuesday in commercial photography land. Also Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Mondays, and Saturdays.
Okay.
Sundays, though, hell, everything just falls right into place on Sundays. But every other day, that's pretty much it. Commercial photographers are problem solvers. No matter what job, Ling, you would ever go out, if you were a commercial photographer, no matter what job you're ever going to go out, it's never going to be what you expected it to be.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe I'm in the right place then, because like when I first started, when I was eating these apricots, I was like, man, they kind of glow in the sunlight, you know, like kind of almost translucent in the edges. So I did have them on some acrylic and light from below, but I was having some issues with that, and I was like, well, the light is coming really nice from the window. And so I just got a crumpled green tissue paper, and I put the plastic on top of that, and then kind of just spread them out, you know. And I originally just wanted to have kind of like a white background, but I was like, well, let me just go with my creative eye with like colors and stuff.
There's all kinds of things you can do. All kinds of things you can do. And this turned out pretty cool, I think. What was your lens? You got a macro or something, right?
Yeah, I have the macro extension tube with the 90mm lens with Fuji.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Hard to focus that close.
It is very hard.
Yes,
I didn't
it
know,
is.
you know, I kind of wanted a lot more in focus, but with how I shot this image, like I liked how everything else was kind of out of focus a little bit. Other shots I took were like, it doesn't make sense where the focus is, you know, so.
Yep. These are fun to focus stack too. But folks, when you focus stacking macro shots, it's, you know, probably 24 little shots.
Okay.
That's very fun there, Ling. Nicely done. Nicely done. Mark Manny.
Hey Don, how are you?
Good. Mark, what's this guy doing down there?
I wrote it. It's a moonlight stroll in an alien forest. I was having fun with food as well, and I always thought cauliflower looked like little trees, so I made a little scene. And I'm a big fan of Slinkachu and other artists like that, so I had some model train guys laying around. So this is what I did.
Were you into model trains?
No, I was more into like Slinkachu and some of those artists that really do that stuff around. So I have some of his works because I ran to one of his shows in New York a couple of years ago. So I said, you know, I'm going to try and do some of that. And it wasn't too successful, but I still had the little guys in a drawer. So this is a good chance to pull that back out and use my 100mm.
Absolutely. You have these little guys could make some great little motion things. You know,
that'll come up sooner or later, I'm sure.
Stop motion could be a lot of fun. When I was much younger, I did model railroading, but I never ran trains because that seemed like a kid, you know, running trains. So I never even had any electric. I just like building the little buildings.
It's fun. You get to make a whole scene and something's going on in your head. And I started this. I had two figures there, and the second figure didn't read very well. It was someone like a woman figure. And so I took it off. I'm like, oh, he lost his girlfriend, you know, in the part. So I had a whole thing going on in my head while I was doing it.
Yeah, and I do like your shallow depth of field because it does look like a forest. That's very cool. How did you?
I don't have it behind the scenes. I tried a couple of different lights. My first thought was to do a big silver reflector, and I wasn't getting enough off of that. And then I actually had a snoot if you're looking at it directly across it in the frame to sort of be the moon. But I wound up just doing a big softbox to my upper right at a good angle to get some shadow.
I love the little light there. I like the fact you didn't lose it there. I love the light coming in behind this sharp thing there. That's very cool. All of that, even this little dark edge, look at the little dark edge that you've got on the cauliflower, because it's really angle of incidence, angle of reflection. The edge is reflecting this dark area up here. So all of these are separated beautifully. Do you see it?
Mm.
Really nice.
Thanks.
Really nice.
I was happy with the shot. It was fun to do as well.
Yeah, really fun. Nice shot. Nice shot. Terry McDermott got in very close on a leaf. Terry,
Hi, Don.
Hi, how are you? Look at that.
I'm good, yes. I was playing very closely with my food.
Yeah, this would be like a great background shot for a catalog or something. You know, the inset shot up here, an inset shot, something down here. Oh yeah. That's pretty.
Yep, I went out to see how the lettuce was looking for dinner later, and it was looking quite lovely.
Nice. That's homegrown lettuce?
Yep, on my back deck in a little pot.
Oh, nice. There's
Go ahead.
It doesn't look like my homegrown lettuce because there's no dead and burn patches on it.
Oh, well, that's because we're having Pacific Northwest weather where we're having more gray than we are blue. And I put it behind the scenes ones next just for fun because I always forget.
Well, our skies are really blue because we're in a valley here, in a hot valley, desert valley. So we get the dust here as well as the car pollution, right?
Yep.
And not very many people driving, so our skies are just incredibly blue.
Oh, I bet.
I want is just a couple of puffy clouds, so I can.
You get stars at night now too?
Oh yeah, many more than normal.
Yeah, I used to come stay in the desert out in Marana.
Yeah, well, same desert. Yeah.
Yep.
Same. Yeah. Same big valley floor. Yeah.
Yep. And here's my lettuce. And it had rained. It had rained just before I took the picture, and so those were natural water drops.
What is this rain you speak of? Very, very pretty. So it's just natural light. You didn't do anything to it at all.
No, on the back of the chair, I put a white card just to kind of maybe bounce a little from behind, but it was pretty much just the sky was a gigantic light box. Or a soft box, I should say.
Very nice. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Daniel Franks.
Hey, Don. Happy Monday.
Good. Happy Monday to you. Look at your chocolate chips here. So those are chocolate chips on
almonds.
On almonds. I just realized, I thought they were on some sort of chip. I mean, a cookie. Now I realize they're on almonds. All right.
Yeah, they look much more interesting on almonds in the shell than without the shell. So I went with the almonds in the shell.
Okay. Very, very nice. These are natural chocolate chips right out of the bag, right?
Yes. Yep.
Very cool. Half the time, Daniel?
Yes.
They'll want you to polish them and take the dust off, the chocolate dust.
Oh, okay.
You use a very soft cloth with just a tiny dab of olive oil. And then you just do each one and never touch it again. Just use tweezers and move it, because if you touch it, you get fingerprints.
Okay.
Try it. The only reason I'm going to tell you to try it, I like your natural approach here. Fine, just fine. I want you to try it so that you know how to do it. Because in commercial photography land, that's where I spend my time, commercial photography, it doesn't matter what we show, we just got to be able to do what they ask. So if the art director said, Daniel, I really like it, we got to polish these up, you go, okay, and you know it, instead of going, huh? Pulling out the old shoe polish or something. Yeah, chocolate is really hard, really nice. But these are all uniform, and that's what I like about it. That's
okay. I'll do that.
Really, really close. What are you using here, lens wise?
That's the 105 macro.
In tight.
Yeah, and this shot is cropped by about a quarter of the way into the shot. So
Oh, okay.
it's the eight images focus stacked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to let it go soft after the first almond.
You focus stacked through this almond then, didn't you?
Yeah, all the way through.
All right. Very cool. I was just going to ask you if you had focus stacked. Is this still set up by any chance?
Partly, so I can redo it.
You know what I'd love to see you do is to focus stack through that one.
Ah, okay.
Right through there, because then you're going to have this little ridge of sharp chocolates against that out of focus area back there.
Okay, I can do it.
Love to see it. It may not work. I just like to see it.
Okay.
And the thought of having you do 17 hours of work is, I just get all goosebumpy with that.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
All right, very cool. This is your.
That's my my behind the scenes when I was doing something besides almonds.
Ah, okay. Same
But
lighting.
it's the same
then?
setup, same camera position, same lighting. Yeah, just a different subject.
All right. You got a light behind this?
No, that's just an unused background.
Got
The
it.
single light is to the left in the box.
Box through the scrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Very cool. Nicely
Thanks.
done. Yep. Richard Neubeck.
Hi, Don. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you.
What is this a pastry or?
No, it's a French country bread.
Oh, okay. French country bread with chives and cheese.
Butter, actually. A very thick
Ah.
slice of butter.
All right. Thick butter. Light coming right across the front here, giving us some of this texture in here. Nice fill to the side. Kind of an interesting crop there, Richard. Little brave cropping. I like that. Yeah. 52 hours of prep.
No, this was actually quite a quick setup.
Oh. I was reading your comment over here. 52 hours prep.
Yeah, prep for the bread.
Oh, for the bread.
Yeah.
Bread, okay.
But the picture was quite quick.
Very nice. And what is your flash is coming from the front here. Okay.
Yeah, slightly to the left.
To the
in
left.
a softbox.
Yep.
And to the right side there is a white card.
I love the way the card's just opening up that bread right there.
Yes. And right above the shot is a silver reflector.
That's this one up here?
Yes. No. To the right
Here.
of your cursor? Yes, that
Here. Okay.
piece, yes.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Very cool.
Thank
What
you.
lens?
100 millimeter
Okay.
macro.
Yeah. Good shot. Oh.
Thank you.
Yes. Chris. Is Chris here? Oh, I wanted to ask Chris what this is. Can any do y'all see this on the picture? Anybody know what that is?
I think that's an upside down lemon.
No, this. I know it's an upside down lemon, Sarah. I mean this right here. This I don't know what that.
Me?
Huh?
I didn't say that.
Oh, who said that?
Carmen.
Carmen said it's an upside down lemon. Well, duh, Carmen.
Thanks, Carmen.
Hey, you know.
These look like brush strokers from
Yeah,
Photoshop.
I think that's Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
trying to cut it out, maybe.
If you zoom in, you see the strokes.
Yeah, because I'm seeing this in here too. I wonder if is this the final shot? I don't know. They're not here. Chris? Okay. You know, I'm not crazy about what's going on down here, Chris. I don't understand it. But that being said, That's a cool shot. That's nice. A little bit bright over here. We can bring that down a little bit, but I love how these things go all the way back to the stem. That's your shot right there. Forget the lemons or the watermelon or the used Volkswagens or whatever those possibly could be. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Woo! Is it Jerry?
Yes.
Jerry. That's nice use of very thin sliced focus. Look at that. That is tack sharp through here. Now, where is your light coming from, sir?
It's coming from the left, the softbox to the
Softbox
left.
to the left. Do we have a behind the scenes here? We do have.
Yep.
All right. Softbox over here. Next time you shoot this, Jerry.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with your shot. Nothing wrong with your shot. I just want you to do this. I want you to take the softbox and I want you to put it right there.
Okay.
So if you're looking through your camera, you move your camera this way, you see the softbox. Really close. Okay. There's nothing wrong with your shot. I just want you to try that.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in starting out with your light as close as possible. This is 80 millimeter macro, ISO 200, 250th of a second.
Yeah, it's a crop sensor.
Crop sensor. It's really delightful. I sense it's just a little flat. Okay.
Okay.
What did you do in post?
Oh gosh, what did I do in post? I did brighten up the actual the cupcake in the middle. All right.
Okay. I
And I
can
think
see
might-
that. It's a little bit brighter than the one back
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Is that all you did?
I think so. Yeah, I think I cropped it in a little bit as well, but
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to come back to this picture in a
Maybe
minute.
change.
All right. I'm going to come back to
Okay.
this in a minute. Very nice. Arnold.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Arnold.
Yeah, I struggled with this assignment, actually.
What's that?
Because I struggled with the assignment because I just didn't have the proper food that I wanted to shoot. I mean, I wanted something dramatic, and you could see the progress actually on the comments. I started out with the strawberries down there, and I felt that that was a safe shot. And then I did the pasta, and I wasn't happy with that. And then I proceeded to find these old peppers in the refrigerator.
Okay.
And the progress you could see is on top there. And I purposely wanted to avoid doing a Western because everybody knows about the pepper number 30. And but I just couldn't escape it for some reason. That's also the reason I did not do a black and white.
Okay.
And I originally had set up flashes for this. Now, if you look behind the scenes, look at what I wind up with are using LED lights. So that's
Okay.
where I am.
I like your strawberries better than this one.
Okay.
Honestly, the reason is the light is up here and then they just sort of go off into the black back there. It almost has like a flash on camera feel to it. I don't think your flash is on camera. So I'm not worried about it.
No, not at all. If
It
you
just-
look at behind the scenes for this one, no flash at all.
Yeah. I remember seeing the pasta dish up there. The problem with the pasta dish, it wasn't bad at all, just a lot of out of focus in front.
Okay.
Just a lot of out of focus before we got something that was focused. But I thought your strawberries were pretty good, pretty darn good. By the way, in case I don't mention it, do not eat these peppers.
Right.
They're a little
I
bit
know.
past the pull date.
Yes, they are.
By about a year, Arnold.
No, actually, you know what happened? These were frozen, right? And then I left them to thaw out. And when I went back to them, this is what happened.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. This one wasn't bad either, by the way. That one's not terribly bad at all. But I think your strawberry shot was pretty decent. Pretty decent. Yeah.
So would you rather have me submitted the strawberry shot?
I think it was your better shot. I think it was your best shot, color-wise and everything else. Plus, your lighting is coming from the side and giving us more texture than this front lighting is here.
All right.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Thanks.
Good. I'm glad you put something in. This is your setup here. Bouncing it into the front here. I would probably, in almost every case, I probably light from the side or from the back for still life like this.
Okay.
But and what lens did you use, sir?
It's 28 to 105 macro.
Okay. Great. Very good. Oh, we're back. Okay. Let me go back and grab this one. Let's see. Can I just drag it off onto my desktop? I can. Jerry, do you mind me doing this in Photoshop?
Oh, no, work away.
Okay. All right. Let's share Photoshop here. Okay. The first thing I think I'm going to do to this is I'm going to check my my levels here and find out where I am. That's what I thought. You see how far clipped our highlights are here?
Yeah.
Let's bring those up to right about there for that shot right there. I'm going to move the midtones. I'm going to take them down just a little bit so we get a little more contrast in those midtones. Oh, that's looking pretty good. The darks I'm going to leave alone. They look fine. Looks like somewhere in here you got pure black, probably right up in here. But what a difference that makes right there. What a difference that makes. I'm going to add a new layer with the Option key down. Create new layer. I'm going to change the mode to overlay. And then I'm going to fill it with overlay neutral color. I'm going to say OK. Over here, I'm going to change it to black and white with white in the foreground because I'm going to use white. And now I'm grabbing a brush here. Soft brush with opacity of 10%. Just 10% is all I want. That little ridge there of highlight, I'm going to bring it up by brushing it one time. I'm going to push this one up by brushing it one time. And I'm going to bring that natural highlights already in the picture. I'm going to bring it down by one time. Then these little guys right in here, I'm going to brush once, 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 twice, twice, right there. I'm now going to take black in the brush at 10%. And that natural dark area there, I'm going to brush it once, brush it once, brush it once up, and once. Okay, all I've done is a very little bit of painting on that channel, but look what it does to the picture.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yep.
We get this, we're pulling these out just a little bit more. Just getting those edges to read. It's really, really nice. By changing our levels, we went from this to that.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, always check your brightness. One of the challenges of shooting digital is that our brightness can be a bit of a problem. Contrast is almost always soft with digital, almost always. Sometimes you hit just the right subject, just the right light and everything works, but sometimes it's a little soft. So, okay, anything anyone wants to add? Any questions? Did we miss anybody?
Hey, Don, can you explain this week's assignment a little bit more? I read through it and I guess I'm kind of a little confused.
This week's assignment?
Yeah.
The next one that's coming
Yeah.
up for next Monday.
Assignment 6.
This one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What are you confused by?
Well, at the so it says we have to do more than one, use more than one item. Transitions to give texture, light and dark for dimensions and sculpt. So
keep scrolling down, Don. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, assignment 6. There it is.
Oh, this over here, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm saying is there's dimension in the subject and there's dimension in the background. For instance, this coffee cup here, okay? We've got dimension from the dark edges here to the light, so we know it's round, right? But the background is also light to dark. So there's dimension in the background as well. So it's not just a flat it's not just a subject on a flat background. I want you to work with your background to get some gradient or some something that pulls our subject off so that we know there's a relationship instead of just a background to the illustration.
And so that's not in post, so that's actually the lighting setup.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
A little clue might be, it's one of the reasons why I said you might want to have 2 lights for this, because you could certainly do this Clinique thing here with 1 light and then use a second light for your background. And if you do that, think of your background as a separate entity from your foreground. Rembrandt used to put he'd have a person here and he'd have them lit from this side. So you had a highlight on this side of the person, right? But what he would do is he would notice that if the person was sitting and being lit by the doorway and the door was halfway open, it would be lighter here on the doorway against the shadow side of the person, and then the doorway would get lighter and then or darker, and the bright side of the person would appear. So one of the things you see in a lot of Rembrandt is the light side of the subject is against the dark side of the background, and as you go across to the shadow side of the subject, the background's getting lighter. And there, at that point, you have absolutely dimension, because you know we're expecting everything to fall from one side, and it doesn't. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Clarification.
Yep.
Hi, Don. By the way, I added behind the scenes for the strawberries, if you're interested.
I'm sorry, what?
I added a behind the scene photo for the strawberries.
Oh, okay. Anything else on the assignment for next week? All right. How do we get out of here? That's the question. That? No, not that. All right.
Yeah, it's under the comment, right there below, and the strawberries. There you go.
All right. Okay, dark field lighting, some white cards around it. All right. That's a nice big scrim you've got there.
Yeah, I had a strip light in there and a octobox on the left side.
Yeah, nicely done. Good job.
Thanks.
Good job, everyone.
Don, do you do Photoshop classes?
Do I do Photoshop classes? No, I do not. I am working on a set of Photoshop. The hardest thing for me with Photoshop is trying to figure out where to start for everybody. It's like, where do you start? but I am working on an idea for 30 Photoshop lessons. I mean, I don't charge for this stuff, so it'll be free, but 30 Photoshop lessons for someone who wants to go from I don't understand Photoshop to really understanding Photoshop. My buddy here in town did a great book a number of years ago, and he's given me permission to go back through that book. And he taught Photoshop to professional photographers for 15 years. So I think looking through his book, I think he's figured out where to start. That's what I needed to do. But for the Photoshop, I mean, my Project 52 folks, what we do is we put up a Photoshop tutorial, whether it's mine or somebody else's, for every assignment, we put that Photoshop thing up so that people can learn Photoshop as they go. So, and try to make it pertinent to the assignment that we're working on. So, I got to tell you that my favorite Photoshop person is Piximperfect. Do you know that person?
Unmesh, he's the best.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Unmesh, he's the best.
Yeah. He's called Piximperfect. He is a brilliant Photoshop technician and artist. But even better is he's a very, very good teacher. Because, being good in Photoshop and being able to teach somebody Photoshop, two overlying but separate skills. And he's really, really good. Also, Aaron.
Hi there, this is Unmesh from Piximperfect.
Yep. Also, Aaron Nace over at Flern. Also a very good teacher and very knowledgeable in Photoshop. You can, I don't know if Piximperfect, does he sell courses or anything? Does anyone know? I don't think he does. Flern has a deal going on right now. I think it's very inexpensive to sign up, and you get, I don't know, I think it's 1,147,000 hours of Photoshop or something like that. It's just huge, the library he has. And the way both of them do it is they approach it from a realistic, like how to do this. Because many times when we're trying to do Photoshop, we just want to do one thing, right? How do I change the color of this dress to blue? That's my challenge right now. And you go into like a Photoshop course, you got to dig through it to find that. These guys both have, how to change this thing to another color. In fact, Unmesh does it in 1 minute. If you go up to his YouTube, he's got a thing, how to change the color of anything in 1 minute or less. He teaches it in 1 minute, and wow, really smart. All right, everybody. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Don.
Take care now.
Thanks. Have a good week, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.